Greetings and citations, everyone. One of my favorite new features in War Within has been delves, a means of getting very good gear with our pal Bran, and very easily too. It's very similar to scenarios like Visions of N'Zoth and even Torghast. Yeah. A mini dungeon of sorts that allows us to explore the open world and deal with such threats with different outcomes and different places. It's definitely one of my favorite newer features that I hope sticks around in Warcraft for years to come, and that they expand on it as time goes on. That being said, we're apparently very due for a new set of companions for, well, each season. It's my personal hope that we don't just get the usual members of the Explorers League seen within the base. No, I want actual characters who differentiate from Bran greatly, both in physical terms and, well, just in how they fight in general, really. Fan favorites is what I'm basically asking for. So, I thought it'd be fun to elaborate on who I'd like to see join us per season. So, let's begin with our first runner-up. This is in no particular order, so don't read into that. Valeera Sanguinar is an esteemed Sin'dorei rogue and former gladiator who had once fought alongside both Varian Wrynn and Brol Baremantle. Through their sheer force of will and odds, they found freedom and friendship together. Valeera, while a blood elf, found common ground and loyalty within the House of Wrynn, acting commonly as Varian's personal spy, remaining loyal to the likes of Anduin even after the death of her friend Varian. She sits on as one of the leading members of the Rogues class order hall, the Uncrowned. After the destruction of Dalaran, the very home of the Uncrowned and their sewers, she can be found amongst other members in the Kindling Parlor. So, she's already located within the Isle of Dorn. I feel like her skills in stealth and poison would be great for delves, as she could aid us in shrouding in shadows to stealth around, and sneak by several guards and whatnot, and take out key targets with her blades and lethal concoctions. Akin to Bran, I could see her being a DPS or healer. Just remember to pick up the health potions and not the other elixirs, I guess. Chen and Lily Stormstout are two strong and abled Pandaren monks. Chen is a world-renowned explorer and one of the best brewmasters across 3, and probably more, continents in the world. Known best for aiding Rexxar in the fight against Daelin Proudmoore and helping form Brewfest on sheer accident. He also assisted Vol'jin a great deal when he was at Death's Door and fought alongside the Horde rebels against Garrosh and his true Horde. Lily and Chen traveled a great deal together through Pandaria and other places, helping out with where they can. Though Lily is an adult now, and should look like one, by the way, has found her own way recently amongst a pirate crew, the Shirvala's Laughter, finding that she had a knack still for exploring, separating from Chen for a time. I feel like you could go either way of having them be a tag team of sorts, or just one or the other, with Chen being either a DPS or tank, and Lily being a DPS or healer. Both are proficient explorers, and would make plenty sense for them to oppose the corruption that Xal'atath's goons present. Monty Gazlowe is the goblin trade prince of the Bilgewater Cartel, once Baron of the port of Ratchet and the primary builder of Orgrimmar and the Horde garrison of Frostwall. Gazlowe took on the position and leadership of leading the goblins after Thrall had asked him to take on such a role when Gallywix bailed from the Horde entirely, and Gazlowe of course agreed. His own goals are attempting to move the goblins past their old ways and simply be better, while also providing them with a good amount of gold and good fortune in life. Gazlowe himself is also a very skilled tanker and could provide a variety of skills for any delve, using his Shredder to act as a tank and perhaps healing us with his own devices. I could see a case for him being a DPS as well though. So he could really go either as a tank, healer, or DPS, but if we're only keeping it to 2 at a time, then perhaps just a tank or DPS for now. Gelbin Mekkatorque is the king of the gnomes and a skilled tanker, leading the gnomes into the alliance and slowly retaking their doomed and gassed up city of Gnomeregan after the betrayal of his once friend Sicko Thermoplug. Mekkatorque has proved his ingenuity and kind heart again and again within his society of gnomes, who was also voted to lead the gnomes because of his smarts. Recently, after nearly dying from the war in Dazar lore, he has been given the new means of survival through the Mecha Gnomes. Upon his revival, he was even asked to lead the Mecha Gnomes from Mekkagon after they had disposed of their treacherous king, making him the king of all gnomes. Mekkatorque has evidently recreated his mecha and would prove to be a handy protector in any delves. Akin to Gazlowe, I could see him being a tank, healer, or DPS with his many skill sets. But also like Gazlowe, I could see him simply being a tank or a DPS for now. Taelia Fordragon, daughter of Bolvar, the former Lich King, is a renowned warrior for the House of Proudmoore, finding her own strength in the land that she was placed in, and was taught by her guardian Cyrus Crestfall. Taelia helped uncover the plots that Ashvane was going to remove the Proudmoores from the lands and take over Kultiras for her own selfish agendas. For this, she was made part of a more elite squadron and given a new set of armor and weapons by the new Lord Admiral Jaina. As time went on, Taelia discovered her father didn't die at the Wrathgate and instead became the Lich King, where she and him would reconcile in the realm of death. Notably, Taelia not only resembles that of a paladin, but has been seen using such powers when in the Shadowlands. It's up for debate on whether she's become a paladin like her father before her. If this is the case though, I could see a case for her being either a healer and DPS, and if she's not a paladin, perhaps it'd be better if she was just a DPS or tank then. Either way, I feel Taelia could definitely use more time to show how much she's grown from being a cadet. Tae'thelan, Bloodwatcher, is the current leader of the Reliquary, a notable Blood Elf mage in search of many relics found around Azeroth, the opposite to Bran, who leads the Explorers League. The Reliquary is a horde-led group who seeks lost relics. He believes in his search for these powerful relics, he can unify his people in some shape or form, and perhaps even free them or empower them from their own addictions to magic. I could see many reasons why he would want to explore the many ruins and places inside the Isle of Dorn and beyond, especially since, as I said before, he is essentially the opposite to Bran. With his skills in magic, I could see him either healing us or damaging for us, a good mirror to Bran, who currently does the same, so a DPS or a healer. Wrathion was once the lone, uncorrupted black dragon that was formed from an experimentation by the Red Dragonflight. Now, he is a diplomat for the Black Dragonflight, a flight that has risen above its corruptive past and is currently led by the Black Aspect Abyssian and his brother Sibelian. Wrathion has a long history of involving himself with mortals and causing both conflict and solutions. Most notably, he found the means to combat the Old Gods and was vital in the defeat of N'Zoth the Corruptor, the same old god who drove Neltharion, his father, to become Deathwing. Wrathion once embodied the best of Neltharion too, and even resembles him in his dragon form, somewhat. Wrathion's search for knowledge, relics, and notable solutions to take down the Old Gods and their minions would make plenty sense to have him join us, especially since he has now left the Dragon Isles to find himself further. I could see Wrathion as either a DPS or healer, potentially even as a tank if they want to take him further down the path of Neltharion. Right now, I see him more as a DPS or a healer though. Zekhan, or the infamous Zappy Boy, is a troll shaman who was a vital person to Rexxar, who encouraged the old soldier to live another day and keep fighting for the Horde. His first battle being the Battle for Lordaeron, where his lightning struck down many Alliance members. Taking Saurfang's advice to heart of, well, not dying, he survived Lordaeron, and he actively was seen amongst the early ranks of Saurfang's own rebellion, to take the fight against Sylvanas, where he witnessed Varrock's ultimate sacrifice and helped bring Saurfang into Orgrimmar to find his rest. Zekhan had even become an ambassador later with the Zandalari and explored many places of Kalimdor with Rexxar, whom he formed a friendship with. I could certainly see a place for Zekhan who'd want to test his mettle and keep fighting for Azeroth and the Horde, delving inside the delves and providing us with his namesake of Zaps, or giving us a quick heal with his shamanistic practices. So, a DPS or a healer. Rexxar is a Mekkatorque Beastmaster and champion of the Horde. He is the son of Leorox, making him the sole heir and potential leader of the Mekkatorque clan. Rexxar had saved the Horde countless times when Orgrimmar was just getting its start, helping out many times throughout the city and ultimately thwarting the threat of Daelin Proudmoore, who intended to remove the Horde entirely from their new home in Kalimdor, being named the champion of the Horde since he has aided in taking on the Gron and Outlands, the Elements when they attempted to burn down Orgrimmar, and has even taken the fight against the Alliance once again within the Fourth War in the lands of Kul Tiras. After successfully defending the World Tree alongside the other prominent members who helped found Durotar against Varrock and his minions, we've not really seen Rexxar since, but I think it makes plenty sense to see him travel throughout this new isle if Thrall is present and could even be tasked by his former war chief to help uncover and deal with the threat that Xal'atath's minions pose, while also uncovering any relics that prove useful as he did when dealing with the cult in Stormsong. More notably, there was even some information a little while ago that pointed that Misha in some shape or form was going to help us somehow. Could this be in Delves? Would not Rexxar not be far from his beloved pet bear if this was the case? It would seem likely that Rexxar will answer the call and be our next follower. Maybe. Rexxar's fighting style isn't too different from Brand, who also uses beasts to fight, though he is a little bit more melee oriented. For Rexxar, I could easily see him and Misha acting as a team and being either a tank or a DPS. But those are my ultimate thoughts. Who do you want to see as our next follower for Delves in Season 2? Do you think Rexxar will be next? I think you know my answer already after all these years, but let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe, comment, share, and all that jazz as always. If you'd like, you can join me on my Discord where we talk about all sorts of stuff and things. We'd love to have you. And if you'd like to support me, you can do so on my Patreon like these amazing folks here. But until next time, my friends,